How we doing, fellas? It's, the night's getting onward. Had all sorts of things to do today, so didn't get to this earlier, unfortunately, but hey, poo happens. Suck it up, drive on. So, another box sorted, just gonna get everything filed away, as per usual. I figured while I'm here, we'll touch on a couple other things, as usual. Okay, you go through, you find, crazy stuff. A few lands, planes that got proxied into a capsize, which was a fun card. Like, some of the buyback cards were like really broken powerful, especially in the right decks. I remember Whispers of the Muse being like really powerful in like draw-go decks back in the day. One thing I wanted to say briefly. See, this is one of those things that we don't like seeing in booster packs. Or at least no one I know ever liked seeing it in booster packs. And this is a Pro Tour player card. At some point in time, I want to say it was right around Lorwyn block era, Wizards put Pro Tour player cards into the booster packs. Whereas today we'd have a rules tip or a token or something like that. No, we had this Pro Tour player, and I'm like, I don't want to take anything away from the Pro Tour guys. I really don't. I mean, because if you're good enough at the game to be on the Pro Tour, kudos for you. I think that's fantastic. It really is. Though I've heard more stories than I would have liked to have heard about cheating on the Pro Tour. If you're on the Pro Tour and you're cheating, what's going on? Why aren't you being caught? I mean, and some people are infamous cheaters on the Pro Tour. I'm not going to name any names because I don't, personally know them. I've heard of them. And I think that's sad. But, yeah, I mean, if you're on the Pro Tour, I do think it's great, but I don't want your picture on a Magic card that comes in a booster pack. I don't care that much. And I don't know of anyone who actually collected those. So if you did, let me know, because I actually am a little bit curious if anyone actually collected them. I mean, if you didn't collect them, but you knew someone who did, let me know. But don't, drop me a line, just say, ha ha, you were right, nobody liked those things, they suck. And I'm like, I know. No, really, I know. You don't have to, send me an email because you agree with me. It's cool. Jeez. No, but, another thing I want to touch on is this, my little friend right here, Whipspine Drake, from Future Sight. It's a 3/3 flyer for 3 colorless and double blue with morph, and its morph cost is 2 colorless and a white. See, that's one of those things I liked about Future Sight and Time Spiral Block is they mixed things up, the likes of which that you don't normally see mixed up. For instance, I remember, I believe it was Gathan Raiders was a 3/3 creature that got +2/+2 on Hellbent, which is when you had no cards in hand, and it had a morph, but it was a morph creature, so you could pay 3 colors and play it face down. It had a morph cost of discard a card, so you had a morph cost that synergized with the Hellbent mechanic. I thought that was awesome. Just like Whipspine Drake. I loved Whipspine Drake in Time Spiral Block Draft. If I wasn't playing blue, but I was playing white, I'd draft them. If I was, I mean, it was great. I mean, it doesn't matter which of the 2 colors you're drafting, it's a good card. And I thought that was an awesome one. I really thought that was awesome. It was. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. What else we got hanging around here? There's Might of Oaks, 3 colors and a green instant. Creature gets +7/+7. With the 7th edition printing with the lovely illustration of the guy carrying an uprooted tree in his hands, and the flavor text of, "Guess where I'm gonna plant this?" That's beautiful. That's classic. I think that should be done for every single reprint of that card. Another thing I wanted to touch on briefly, a couple of things. This is a Japanese Life Force and a English 5th edition Life Force by the looks of the copyright date. Now, first of all, as I mentioned on, I want to say day 2 or day 3, there it is right there. Japanese phonetic script on the artist line. Kid science fun stuff, guys. But here we have our fun friend Life Force, which we'll probably never see print again. I think last time it was printed was in 7. Double green for an enchantment with the special ability of you pump double green into it to counter a black spell. That's kind of interesting. It made me think a little bit on the lines of color hosers in general, like our friend Hydroblast here. Single blue mana to counter a red spell or destroy a red permanent. And I'm forced to wonder sometimes how popular color hosing spells in general have been. I mean, I rarely play color hosers. Very rarely. And because they're not really very reliable. I mean, traditionally they're just sideboard cards. I mean, almost nobody main decks, for example, even back in the day, nobody really main decked Circle of Protection. Really? Who does that? Honestly, I did do it once because the place where I played, red was a very popular color. So I actually ended up main decking Circle of Protection red. And that actually, amazingly enough, worked out pretty well for me. Crazy enough. But, yeah, you don't normally see color hosers main decked unless they have a good secondary universal ability. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anyone make serious use out of color hosers is if they were also playing blue with things like Magical Hack or Sleight of Mind, you know, something to change color or land type references on cards. And I don't know. It's kind of wacky like that. Alrighty then. I'll get these filed away. See about getting an update done for you guys earlier tomorrow. Coincidentally, some people are saying that they actually, they like the little series I've been doing with this, and I appreciate hearing that. I really do. And I'm very glad that whatever people are following these videos, that you're not stalking me and making it creepy. I appreciate that. Please keep that up. I mean, it's flattering that people like the videos, or some people do at any rate. They want to hear me babble about stuff. I'm like, that's flattering. No, really, why can't women be that way with me? Yeah, probably because I have all of the charisma of an angered skunk. But hey, you can't have everything, right? At least I've got magic cards. And now if someone out there is going to be sitting there, dude, he's probably cuddling up with a fat pack in his bed at night and crying himself to sleep, and I don't want to talk about it. Oh well. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.